Okay, so this video I'll be explaining how the AutoCheck works and just explaining the details of this report. So I'll get pretty thorough with it. It can be a little confusing. But what AutoSource likes to use is AutoCheck because it's definitely a lot more detailed and it's a lot more accurate than just a regular Carfax. The reason I could say that is because it's part of a bureau called Experian, and their job is nothing to collect nothing but information. So also this adjusts based off the market. It's what insurance companies use as well. So let's go over the details of this together. One here is the AutoCheck score. This is, in my opinion, this is irrelevant to me. The reason why I say that is because there's no true scoring system that's built yet for rebuilt restored titles. And the rebuilt restored titles or the branded titles, they'll always score lower just because it is a rebuilt title. It's had an event. So this to me is just really irrelevant. It doesn't really give a valid report of the car. So that's what that is. The buyback protection. This is a third party. I think it's junk anyways. It never really works. This is only to new cars or clean title cars if it meets the specifications. So it doesn't even apply to us. We won't even talk about that. Here, this is letting you know that the state's letting you know that the branded title's been reported. Okay. My favorite about the water recoveries is they're 100% accident free. So they've never been wrecked. They've never been painted. That's why I love the water cars. So that's just validating that. And then right here, the other damage reported, that's the water damage. That's what the insurance has reported. So the title brand has been reported. The events have all been reported with insurance, all that. So that's letting you know of that. The odometer problems reported, we'll go over that and get pretty thorough with why that's saying the red check mark. Okay, so all the waters have that. I'll explain why in just a bit here once we get to the right page. And then right here, it's letting you know there are 3 open recalls. Okay, so it doesn't matter the status of the title. Recalls are mandated law. So the recalls will be honored regardless of the title status, and it's 100% free for you. The dealership here can't do it for you just because it has to be a registered owner. So we'll go over those as well. And then it's letting you know that you have 1 owner. Okay, so that's covering the first page here. And then that's letting you know this is for the 18 Subaru Crosstrek Premium, the VIN, the classification, the country, and the age of the car. So there's all that information. Okay, so for owner history, it came from Texas, and it was purchased in 2017. Okay, the usage, this is pretty important to me whenever I buy a car. There's only 2 types of usages I'll buy. This one is personal, and personal is my #1 favorite because it was personally owned, meaning it was less likely to be abused. Okay, my second favorite is a lease because they just maintain the maintenance for you. So this one's awesome. It's personally owned. Okay, so we're going to go over the title brand checks. They branded it for what's called a flood brand. That's the only brand they can classify water damage as. So even though it says flood, it wasn't a fully submerged flood. We don't deal with salt water, but that's just the only way they can write it off and put it in the flood brand. It's not a hail or fire vehicle. It's not a lemon. The insurance writes it off. They can only put it in one category, and that's the salvage certificate. Okay, and they put it in as the salvage brand because of the water. But once we flip everything into someone's name, the new owner, all the paperwork and the title will actually be flipped to a rebuilt, restored title. And so the title won't say salvage anymore. It'll say rebuilt, restored. We just got to flip it to the new owner. And then again, the odometer brand, we'll go over that in just a sec. So kind of touch base. They write it off as a water recovery. They can only put it in a flood brand. It's written off as a salvage certificate. That title will be flipped to a rebuilt, restored title. Okay, no lemon records. We'll go over that in just a sec. Accident check, we're good there. The damage check is very important to me. They're just going to verify the information, making sure the damage is what it is and what it's not. Okay. So again, they go over the fire and hail. We're good. They call it the non-tidal flood damage record, so we'll cover that. That was just the water recovery, right? No salvage auction records on file, so that's good. And then there was no major damage involved. Also, there is no structural damage to the car. There's also is no structural alterations. Nothing like that's been compromised. So this is backing up everything that I'm saying to you. Okay, so that's really important. And then the insurance just put it as an insurance loss, so that's how they just write it off. And then that will cover that page as well. Okay, so here we got no liens or loans, no corrected or duplicate titles out there. There are no theft recoveries, so that's another good sign of the vehicle not being abused. Or I'm sorry, less likely to be abused. Okay, so that's really good. Okay, so the odometer check. Let's cover this in detail. So there was a problem reported. Okay, so it says state title odometer check. An odometer brand such as EML, which exceeds mechanical limit, okay, or NAM means not actual miles, or similar odometer brands have been reported by the State Division of Motor Vehicle on this vehicle. So that means that with the reports of the vehicle, the miles were not submitted correctly or at all. And we'll go over that in just a sec. But on the title odometer check, it wasn't, there was a problem with that. But as you can see below that, the miles do check out. The auction odometer check's been good. The odometer calculation check is valid. So the miles are good, okay? Now, the recalls, these are just letting you know there's 3 open recalls. You just take it to your nearest Subaru dealership, and it's mandated law, it's free. You just give them these recall numbers, and it's just these 3 things that they'll address and fix for you, okay? And so we're not done with this yet, the odometer check. I'll show you this in just a sec. So I'm going to move this page to the side. Okay, you'll see what I mean. Okay. So here is the detailed vehicle history. So as you can see, you have topics: event date, location, odometer reading, data source, and details. Okay, and then you got the explanations, so on and so forth. So as you could see, like for this one example, October 11th of 17, Humboldt, Texas. See where it says odometer reading, and then the odometer reading, it was reported with 5 miles, okay? So here it says not actual miles. And then right here, not actual miles. Well, if you look right here, there are no miles submitted. So what this is saying is this right here, that's the not actual miles, because there are no miles submitted. So that's what it's letting you know, not actual miles, okay? Same right here, there are no miles submitted. So that could be one example. But yeah, you can't tamper with the odometer or anything like that, because it's not like where, for example, Matilda's dad rolls back the miles with the drill. It's nothing like that. So plus all waters are going to say that as well, because at the time of inspection, we don't want to turn on the car because we haven't finished the inspection. And so we as a precaution, we flush all the fluids out in the engine, the transmission, because we don't want to start the car with water in it. So they just flush all those fluids at the time of the inspection. They won't pull the miles. So, and then that's just letting you know of that. So hopefully that covers your question and concern. But yeah, the miles are good. What states on the cluster of the car. But yeah, that's what that means. And then just the rest here is just like definitions. These are kind of vague. But yeah, that's what covers the odometer check. The miles do check out. And so, yeah, I hope that covers a lot of questions and concerns for you. If you have anything, just let me know. Thanks.